and welcome to the Good Girls Get Rich podcast. I'm your host, Karen Yankovich, and this is a topic that is near and dear to my heart. Because what I see is when men take time away from work to care for family, they're often seen as compassionate, but when women do it, it's quietly assumed that she's less ambitious. And what happens is less what other people think about us, right? Although it does impact what we're doing, we start believing it ourselves, right? If you're listening, and if you're anything like me, right, I am a support to a lot of people in my life, right? My mom is aging, and I have a lot of things I choose to do to support her. My partner's got some health issues. My kids are adults and they've got kids, and I love to spend some time with them. And then sometimes as we get older, it's a little bit more difficult for us to show up and do things, right? It's doesn't get easier as every year goes by. And sometimes we find ourselves holding like entire ecosystems together and trying to maintain our career and our business. And you have people like me saying, you need to be more visible, right? And create thought leadership. And I want there to be more wealthy women in the world. We're expected to absorb these caregiving responsibilities kind of without losing any momentum. And that cost is massive to us if we don't get that right. And we're never going to get it perfect, right? We're never going to be perfect with it. But I do think it's really important that we focus on this, because it's not just emotional labor, right? It's economic labor, it's visibility labor, leadership, opportunity costs, right? I talk a lot about like the invisible women, or, the invisible expert, and caregiving can give us invisibility creep. And I have personally experienced that, right? It doesn't happen overnight, but it happens gradually. And for me, I realized that I did pretty much have the people and the team in place to make it less visible from your perspective, right? But from my perspective, it's still a lot, right? Because I found myself posting less or declining speaking opportunities, which I still find myself maybe not always looking for, because what if I need to do something with my mom, right? So maybe avoiding networking or turning down interviews or disappearing, settle down. But things don't settle down, right? Things don't settle down. And listen, this is not man bashing, because that's not what this is about. This is just societal norms. And the societal norm is that men are allowed to have complexity in their lives. And often they don't have the same emotional, mental loads that the women have. And women are expected to maintain consistency. And when we can't, we feel like we're failing, like we're not enough. Okay. So that's honestly one of the reasons why I talk so much about LinkedIn, because LinkedIn doesn't demand from us the kind of digital presence that some other platforms do. And if you're not in a place where you've got a team that can post for you, where you can send them a month's worth of content and, go take care of your kid or your mom or whatever, LinkedIn is a good place to be, because really you can post there a couple times a week, and the LinkedIn algorithm rewards consistency and specificity more than it does constant posting. Okay, so you can still be showing up consistently, even if you are taking a step back to support people in your family, right? And I want to make sure that that there's options for you. There's options for you. I don't want you to think, I should have done this, I should have done that, I should have posted more, I should have created more videos, I should have had 5 podcasts in the bag before this weekend, or I should be further ahead, right? The reality is you should not have to vanish professionally to care for the people that you love. And I want you to understand that this is not something like, I'm just going to say that almost every conversation that I have lately, whether it's within our visibility salon community or with my friends and my masterminds that I participate in, these are conversations I'm having all the way across the board in all these different communities that I'm a part of. Okay. So I want you to know that you are not alone in this, and that there are ways to get support with this, and lean on the people on your team, lean on the people around you, and build I have intentionally built the work that I do into the new Linked Up Collective, because it allows me to build it less dependent on Karen Yankovich and more dependent on my brand. Doesn't mean I don't have to do content. I still do all the things, right? But somehow psychologically it feels easier for me, right? And I feel like I am not worrying as much about reduced visibility or fewer referrals or missed media opportunities, right? Because for us, for entrepreneurs, what happens when we're missing those opportunities is that we have inconsistent revenue. Our lists don't grow. We have harder launches. We reduce our audience growth, right? And it's a emotional exhaustion, right? Because we're in this constant place of sales energy. And I want you to know that there are ways that you can build wealth. And that's why I like to focus on high ticket opportunities, because you don't have to be constantly grinding. And when you get these higher ticket contracts, you can pay people to keep you visible in all of these other places, right? Because what happens is, what I've seen happen anyway, and it happened to me a few times over the last 15 or so years of my career. Women who were once like highly visible suddenly start to feel a little bit more irrelevant or disconnected or forgotten or behind or like kind of embarrassed to reappear. And we think like, and there's almost some shame around it, right? And we think like maybe we need to make a whole audience announcement and stuff like that, which you can decide if that's important for you. I don't necessarily think that that's important. But what we have to normalize is that a pause in our business, a pause in our career doesn't mean your brilliance expired. It just means it just is what it is. It's just a pause, right? It's a pause. So I want to eliminate the shame around all of that and talk a little bit about how we can empower ourselves a little bit, right? Because the old professional narrative said there can be no interruptions in your path, right? And we've seen this. How many women have we seen? And I'd like to think it's not as much like this today as it was in the past, but you took 10 years out to maybe raise your kids or whatever, and you came back and you don't have the same momentum that you had before, right? So you don't have that linear career progression anymore. You don't have that constant momentum. It was designed around male life patterns, right? Our lives, women's lives, are cyclical. They're layered. They're human by our choice. Okay. I mean, I recognize that everybody has these choices, but I do think that for the most part, we make the choice to take care of people in our lives. We make the choice to stay home with our kids, right? And I want you to understand that the choice is a strategic choice. You're stepping back strategically. You're not just erasing yourself entirely. And that's why this LinkedIn and PR strategy that I talk so much about on this show, it becomes your lifeline, because it's not vanity, it's infrastructure. If you like put yourself out, let's say the next couple months are going to be kind of slow months in your life, and you decide, I want to record 30 podcasts. I want to be a guest on 30 podcasts. Those podcasts aren't all going out in the next 3 months. Some of them aren't going to be published for 6 months. So you're now taking a holiday break or a year, it's a year-end break, and you need to spend more time. Maybe your kids are in town or you're going to visit them or whatever, right? But these episodes are still going out because you've already recorded them. You recorded them in your slow season. That's why I love this stuff. And because for me, it isn't about like being an influencer or being internet famous. It's about staying discoverable, staying connected, staying relevant to these opportunities, and maintaining like relational equity around all the work that you do. Because here's the deal. Visibility is not vanity when your livelihood depends on being remembered, right? So I don't want you to look at that as dramatic. Oh my gosh, 1 minute she's saying I can take a break, and the next minute she's saying I can't because my livelihood depends on it. No, visibility can be carefully crafted so that you can take steps back when you need to take steps back, and build a life and a business around the choices that you make, around the caregiving choices that you make, right? So let's talk a little bit about what do you do when life is chaotic and you still need to remain professionally alive, not optimized, not perfect, alive. You just need to stay alive, right? So I'm going to share with you a 20-minute visibility system that you can craft. Okay. So if you're not driving, this is a good time to take out your pen. All right, 20-minute visibility system, 20 minutes in a day. You can do this while you're sitting at someone's bedside. I want you to be fully present for the people in your life, for sure. But there's going to be 20 minutes where somebody's napping or something, right? Where you can find this 20 minutes, right? So again, it's important to go back to what I said before. It's important if your livelihood depends on being remembered. And for so many of us entrepreneurs, it does, right? So 20-minute visibility system starts with a 5-minute comment strategy. instead of creating a ton of content in this 20-minute visibility system, leave thoughtful comments on your peers' posts, on industry leaders' posts, on journalist posts, on clients' posts, on podcast host posts, right? Because what happens is comments are creating visibility without that content pressure. You are jumping in, and I'm specifically talking about LinkedIn here. When you jump into a conversation that's already happening, your name gets in front of all the other people in that conversation and all the other people that they're connected to. Right. So thoughtful comments is like kind of networking in public. And 5 minutes, right? And I'm going to say a day, right? But 5 minutes. And then I want you to spend the next 5 minutes nurturing a relationship. Send a voice note, send one DM, one congratulations on your book release or congratulations on your promotion, one introduction, maybe one thinking of you message, like one message, not all of these things, one message, because the relationships are still at the heart of everything we do. And let me just tell you, some of you, many of you, probably most of you, if you send one of these a day in this 5 minutes, it's probably, and that's 5 a week, by the way, that might be more than you've been doing anyway, right? And it is the most lucrative thing you can be doing in your business right now is outreach, right? And it's simple outreach. It's not buy me outreach. It's a congratulations and introduction, right? Thinking of you. Because it's the relationships that brings in the big, fat, juicy opportunities, not the algorithms. All right. So 20 minutes, 5 minutes of commenting, 5 minutes of nurturing a relationship, one note, and then a 5 minute credibility touch point. Maybe post a client win. Maybe, share a lesson that you learned this week. Maybe an old podcast interview that you were interviewed on, or a new one that just came out, right? Maybe you update your LinkedIn headline. Does not have to be perfect. It does not have to be polished. Remember, we're not keeping you perfect here. We're keeping you alive, not optimized. Okay. So 5 minute credibility touch point. And then a powerful piece of this, the last 5 minutes, I want you to stay findable. Okay. I want you to do 5 minute opportunity visibility. Update, and answer one pitch email. Maybe you're subscribed to Help a Reporter or Quoted, right? Answer one pitch. Maybe reconnect with a referral partner. Maybe say yes to one strategic conversation. Maybe you're going to pitch one small media opportunity. Okay. One thing that's going to help you stay findable, that's going to help your visibility while you're doing the caregiving things that you need to be doing here. Okay. So that's a 20-minute a day system. The consistency does not mean constant. Okay. I want you to be consistent, not constant. So I'm going to repeat that 20-minute visibility system. A 5-minute comment strategy, a 5-minute relationship nurturing, right? 5 minutes, a credibility touch point, and 5 minutes on an opportunity, like a visibility opportunity. That's it. That's it. Consistent, not constant. And here's the thing. You don't need to apologize for this. First of all, you're the only one that's noticing this, like that you're absent. Obviously, we don't want to be so absent that people forget we exist, right? But the last thing you need to do is apologize for being so absent, right? Like you could say, I'm looking to reconnect. It doesn't mean you've been absent, right? You're just saying I'm reconnecting with you over something, right? So stop apologizing for these things, because if you are doing this 20 minutes, you're not disappearing anyway. Don't apologize for having boundaries. Don't apologize for slower responses. Don't apologize for changing capacity. Don't apologize for needing flexibility. Don't apologize for being human. If there's something to apologize for, then, use that. I know I've been quiet, or I've been navigating something crazy, but I'm excited to reconnect. Okay. Please don't apologize. If an apology is truly necessary, if you truly blew it and you need to apologize for something, then by all means apologize, but don't apologize for things that are just boundary related. Okay. You do not earn dignity through exhaustion. And not only that, people don't want you. They don't want exhausted you. They want empowered you. I just want you to understand here that caregiving is a part of life. It's something we choose to do, and it's something we get to do because we've created these beautiful, crazy careers that we call entrepreneurism, right? It's not a weakness. Caregiving is not a weakness. It's leadership. It's choice. It's emotional intelligence. It's humanity, right? But and you don't have to sacrifice influence or wealth or visibility or ambition or identity to do it. And this is why it's so important that you focus on the money making opportunities. And it's why I say I want there to be more wealthy women in the world, because the more wealth you have, the more you're able to, the more freedom you have in your schedule, in your time, in your life. The world benefits when there's more wealthy women in the world. The world benefits when women remain visible through all of the seasons of your life, not just the easy ones. You're still powerful if your capacity's changed. You're still valuable even if you don't have the same pace that you had before. And you're still worthy. You're still worthy of wealth and visibility and opportunity and influence, even in the middle of the busiest caregiving times of your life. If you can relate to this at all, then I would love for you to share this with your network if you think that your network would relate to it, because I know for me, it is a really busy caregiving time of my life. And I am so grateful and so lucky that I have intentionally built a career that allows me to be flexible with my time, that allows me to choose to be caregiving in to the people I love and the people I want to help, right? I get to choose, you get to choose, okay? I'm here for you every step of the way. If you're looking to get some help with this, grab a spot on our calendar, go to KarenYankovich.com/call. I'd love to talk to you about how we can help you position yourself so you're worthy of these opportunities, and then build this really simple process so that you can be available to whomever you need to be available to when you choose to do that. I'll see you back here next week.